Hey guys and gals, we are back. This is BK Motors and Mayhem, and we are gonna try and fire up the Yamaha this week on gas. That is the hope, that is the plan. Maybe a ride, maybe not. I'm not too sure. We'll see how far we get today on the Yamaha. So, the last time we left off, I had put in the tank liner and it went really well. It looks fantastic in there. It's all sealed. I water tested it, everything. So all I did for water testing was I took it over to my hose, filled the tank up, moved it all around, let it sit for a while as I moved it to see if it would leak out from anywhere, and it did not. So that means she is fully sealed and good to go back on the bike. So let's see if we can get it to run. We got to run our fuel line first, though. So I'll clear all this off and get the fuel line and run that and see if we can get to start. All right, so I will give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer. I apologize if the audio isn't that great. I am feeling under the weather this week and I am slowly losing my voice. So it is hard for me to talk, but we'll power through and try and get this done. So first off, I'm gonna run the fuel line for this carburetor on this side. It's gonna be a little tricky. Might have to take some stuff back off, we'll see. Hopefully not. Okay, got that hooked up. Now, run over to here. Now on this bike, it does require a T in the fuel line as two carbs. On most bikes, usually when it's got the double carbs, they sync up with a built-in fuel line. On this bike, they do not, which makes it a bit of a pain. And it only has the one exit for fuel on the tank. So it needs a T in the fuel line. Okay, so we got the fuel line run to both carburetors with relatively no trouble, which is a bit of a first. I thought it was going to be a bit of a pain with the covers on, but got the fuel line run to both carbs. Now we have to slap the tank on and then just do tank to the T and the vacuum line for the pedcock. There it is. Put in the tank bolt. Whoops. First off, run a fuel level sensor for the fuel light. I don't think it works, but we'll still run it and have it plugged in. Whoops. Okay, I unknowingly covered up the T. That's not good. You know what? Before I run the bolt down, I'm going to run the line right now. It doesn't look like it needs to be too long, so that's good. The vacuum line on. Probably that long, not shorter. This is going to be a pain right in the butt, guys. Okay. Now, should be all. Well, we don't want that now, do we? All right. So, got the fuel line run. It wasn't the easiest to do, kept kinking on me and everything else. Preferably, it would have been much easier if it was a double outlet pedcock instead of a single outlet. Just run 2 fuel lines to each carburetor instead of having a T and having 3 lines and whole maze of lines everywhere. And it's 5/16 line instead of something smaller. So it kinks really easy. Not the best design, Yamaha. Come on, guys, get your stuff together here. But that said, we will move on. We got the tank on. I started the bolt. It's not tight, finger tight. We'll dump some gas in it. I got a jumper pack hooked up to it, and we will see what happens with this bike. Hopefully it starts up. The last time we tried to fire this bike, it just sparked off, made a little bit of noise. If I remember correctly, we were having problems with the starter. So we shall see what we run into this time around. But at least it will be with actual gas and not just starter fluid. So we'll be giving it the best shot possible. All right, so like I said before, this is a vacuum pedcock, so it does have a prime on it, which I have pressed. I'm going to switch it over to on, so it will use the vacuum. Choke. Getting fuel, but we're not getting a lot of fuel. So I will address this. We do have a fuel leak. Now I know what you're thinking. BK, you said the tank was sealed and everything was good. It is, I promise you. It's actually leaking just from the pedcock right here. As you can see, my finger's wet. It's just leaking from right here. And I do not have a rebuild kit for it right now. So we're just going to have to deal. Okay. Kind of crappy, but it is what it is. I could try and tighten these up, but I don't think it'll do much. No. So, like I said, we're just going to have to deal. What? How doesn't this battery have enough juice? Dead battery. Well, guys, unfortunately, that wraps up this video for today. Um, the bike has deceased my batteries and booster packs. So, as you can tell, if you can hear that, that's two of my boosters and one of my batteries, both no longer working. So, we'll come back at it tomorrow. I'll need some more gas. Probably by tomorrow, that'll all have leaked out. And I'll charge up my batteries overnight. And we'll get right back at it again tomorrow and try and fire up this Virago. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And hopefully we can get this bike running. Hey everyone, we are back. It's now the next day. My boosters are charged up. It should be good enough. My big battery is charged up. That should be good. So today we are planning on starting this for the first time in probably a decade or two. So I did go over some things off camera. I checked, made sure that we were getting spark. We're still getting spark. We're getting fuel down to both carburetors. I cracked the drains on the bottom of the bowls. We're getting fuel down there. I even checked the coils. So what I did with the coils was, again, this wasn't my bike. I know nothing about it. It was torn apart when I got it, as you saw. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. Um, I checked the coils to make sure that the spark plug wires were not swapped. So all I did was I swapped the wires going to the coils to the other coils, just to make sure that it wouldn't start just by doing that, to make sure that the coils weren't swapped. And it turned out they were not. So there is one more thing I would like to do, and I'll show you guys how to do it, because this is a really good trick to keep up your sleeve for anyone that rides dirt bike or even a street bike and you don't have a couple extra plugs on hands. And that is to clean your spark plugs, just in case they're a little fouled. So I'll show you guys here in a second. I'll pull a spark plug for you. Now remember, I did not put in new spark plugs. These were the plugs that were in the bike. So, and I did notice, if I remember correctly, they were a little dark. So they very well could be a little fouled up. Might be time to replace them, but we shall see. Okay, so what you want to do is when you pull your plug out, let's say you're out riding on your dirt bike and the plug fouled up on you. You got no extra plugs, or that was your last one. Take a little bit of gas, in this case, some brake clean, and just spray the plug down. Then, lighter, and set it on fire. Now in doing so, do not start a forest fire. I do not condone a forest fire. That would not be good. But just let that burn right down. It'll go out eventually. And then once it does, take the plug, throw it back in the bike. You're good to go. Now, sometimes it can be a little hot. So, again, if you're out riding, wouldn't hurt to leave your gloves on when you do this. Just don't burn your gloves. I'm just going to take the plug, throw it back in. And then I'll go ahead and do the same to the front plug. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done the front one. And like I said, it will help clean them up. It's good to keep in your back pocket just in case, like I said, you're out dirt biking or you're out on your street bike. But when you get home, definitely look into getting a new plug in the end because it's not permanent. So it also tells you, hey, maybe you have a foulie or a running rich issue. You got to clean or reset your carburetors. So now I'm going to go ahead, turn on my booster, and we're going to try and see if the bike starts this time. Let's find out. And there's that starter acting up again on us. Okay. All right, everyone, there you have it. The 1984 Virago has come back to life after more than 2 decades of sitting. She barked off, she made some noise, she ran, she was sitting at about 2 grand. Wasn't running too good, but she did come back to life. So that is extremely exciting. Now, as you can tell, there's still some issues that gotta be addressed, like the starter isn't fully engaging, it's slipping off. I may or may not try and tackle that. Apparently, there's something with shims that you have to do on these bikes. It doesn't surprise me. Yamaha, don't get me started. Um, but that wraps it up for now. So, like I said, that's really exciting. She's up and running. So, check me out next week where hopefully we'll be diving back into this or maybe back on the Avenger because I did get some more parts in for it. So until next week, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. This is BK Motors of Mayhem out.